All right. Hello. Hello, everybody. Today, I'm not going to be playing SL2. No, I'm actually going to be ranting on it, talking about how it's good, but how the cons outweigh the pros. I'm going to be talking about all of that, hopefully in 15 minutes, with a friend of mine, Hollow Shows, or you might know him better as just Hollow, or, you know, Science Team Hollow. So let me get straight into it and let me stop wasting your time.
Alright!
The first topic we're gonna get into is, let's talk about how RŌBLOX has this perfect formula that continuously has been able to work out somehow. Like, and I'm really surprised. Like, you use the same concept for about 4 games straight, and it somehow just works out. People just enjoy it. People just like it. And you really gotta understand, most people, like, if they're doing CC games or they're just doing open games completely, they have to make it, they have to think of maybe not such unique things. Maybe they just use generic concepts, or the unique ones get overlooked by the generic ones. And yeah, it's actually really interesting how they're able to just do this straight away and do it flawlessly, to be honest. So, yup. And the second thing I want to speak on is how RŌBLOX, they know what they're doing. They are smartly pushing the next generation of Roblox. And, well, not next generation, I guess current generation, because I don't think this is going to last more than 2. I'm not going to hold you. And I'm not calling it a bad game either. I'm calling it mid-tier. Because you could play it, but you could play it if you play it with friends. No matter what game you play with friends, it's going to be fun. Like, you could play the most shittiest game on Roblox right now, and if you're with your guys, you are going to have the most fun you will ever have. Because you're just going to be laughing your ass off on how bad the game is or something. Like, most of the time, that's how it ends up. And with this, you've got to take in mind, if I was with a lot of other friends, like I'm talking my whole friend group, I wouldn't be saying this most likely, but I'm not, and I'm actually at the current moment really more so a solo player when it comes to games like this, games similar, not to Rogue, but just general progression games. So yeah, they figured out how to incorporate CC to a open game that allows the eyes of younger audiences to really get opened and to prepare themselves for much bigger CC games that they might get interested to. And whether they're doing this intentionally or not, they are helping out a lot of CC games that people know, people care about. And eventually people are going to be wanting to get in, no matter the age, no matter how mature, they want to get into it. So yeah, that's basically what I have for my topic, and it's off to you, Hollow.
Cool. So now I've finally been passed the torch. It's my time to shine. Let's get it. Alright. Okay, so one of my favorite positives at the moment is how much of a step up this shit is from the other projects, which are much more pay to win and grindy. Like, okay. SL2, SL2, huge step up from Shinobi Life. Okay, Shinobi Life. It had like the most pay to win spin system I've ever seen. Okay, they didn't have like those unique common or rare spins. No. They had like at least 50 different rare KGs, right? That were all on like less than 5% chance. Then you have like the same 5 KGs on like a 90% chance. It's even worse than how it is in SL2. Like, literally, there were like 5 different variations of Mangekyo Sharingan. You have the Itachi Mangekyo, you had the you had the Sasuke Mangekyo, you had the, I think even had Shishui Mangekyo. Like, I'm telling you right now, yeah. When I say that the old Kurobos and RPGs were pay to win and grindy, I mean, like, you could spend like what 15 hours grinding beyond, and you wouldn't even get past Prestige 3 probably, and that's auto clicking. Understand, like, okay, I have to hand it to them here because they've actually made an improvement instead of doing the same thing over and over. Where instead of just, you know, like letting the game be unbearably grindy and only having it really accumulate a cult fan base, they were smart enough to realize that they have to make progression not even easier, just less time consuming. Because let's be real, the progression was always easy in their games. Anyone can play it, and that's the beauty of it, in my opinion. But it's also its downfall. But remember that, okay? Anyone can play. So combine this with the fact that not only can anyone play it, but now they made the game accessible to people who aren't willing to pay thousands of Robux for fucking spins on a block game. They've done themselves a favor and they've actually expanded the potential and the fan base of their game. And to this, I have to give it to them. By the way, Zen, quick question. What do you like? Okay, in your personal opinion, do you think they've actually done a step up here, or do you think it's still like, do you think they haven't really changed much about it?
I personally think it's throwing a water bottle in the garbage completely clean. Like, because beyond, it could have been SL2. Like, let's be honest, most of their games could have just been SL2. They just had to change a few things about them, and it would have been practically no different. But what they did, it's like, let me use another metaphor. It's like putting a lot more seasoning on the eggs, but somehow still making it taste nice. It's like they really extended on something that should have died out 4 years ago. Yet they still somehow make it work. And they still somehow make the replayability really, really tight. Really good.
Yeah, I do agree. It's like, okay, the fact that they've even managed to keep the same formula for so goddamn long, it's actually worked for them, is crazy. Like, oh my god. They've been doing this for 6, maybe even 8 years, since they've been doing this since 2012. Alright. Almost, or maybe around 8 years of NRPG. And not one of their games have flopped. Not
like,
one.
People are still playing Beyond and SL to this day.
Yeah, it's crazy. And actually, this moves me on to my second point, actually. You see, the amount of competition that they are creating. Now, I know it might seem like, okay, well, what is Career Bros? Like they're doing the same shit over and over. What's so special about it? Well, let me tell you what's special about it. They're making the Naruto games on Roblox have a competition. Repeat it after me. Competition. So when the new Career Bros game comes out and gets 40k players on the release day, even though it's the same stuff they've been doing for years, right? It makes all the other Naruto owners say, hey, we have to update our games. We have to maintain our player base, and we actually have to do something that will, interest people. We have to step it up. We can't do what we've been doing this whole time and hope it's going to go in our favor this time. And I think obviously the Career Bros have acknowledged this, and they've actually this time, like, and almost every time in fact, they've created competition between the games. Like, okay, you can see even they've maintained the focus of their player base, and I think this is beautiful because they're doing a lot more good. Because sure, SL2 in of itself might be a pretty bad game to play, but I think it's the what the fuck. Oh, so aside from the fact that SL2, like, as a game itself, it wasn't that great. I think it's the fact that that they could at all even come close to making a half decent experience that's actually different. I have to applaud them on that. By the way, I also do have to yeah, what's up, Zen? Alright, go. Okay, so when it comes to like in general, also the fact that people can play their current games right now, and then it's like the other game owners, they like have to update, they have to rapidly push out updates, and they have to hype up their games more. This is good. This is causing good for the Roblox community, as I've already said. My bad if I sound like a broken record repeating myself here. Though, that's all for the positives for now. Ayo Zen, I'm gonna hand it back to you. Yeah.
Thank you, Hollow. And let me get straight into the negatives. I'm not gonna beat around the bush for this. So, one of the biggest negatives that I personally hate, I have a grudge, and it's been seen in every like game that they've created, Career Bros. They just have this thing, like they just love LC, I mean, spin systems. Beyond SL, like for fuck's sake, bro. SL, you could literally spin Obito's Sharingan. Like, what? Bro. And it's all based off RNG. Like, you actually have no chance of upgrading your RNG, nothing like that. It's literally just RNG. Like, it's a fest of it. You continuously have to roll. You continuously have to spend your Robux to get this. And it's not fun. It's not enjoyable. Like, and if Ty somehow sees this, I don't know, someone might have pushed my video out. Like, Ty, he knows how he's doing it right. He knows. Niggas don't want spin systems. The fuck is that? Like, what? Bro, he knows what he's doing. Ty is able to make a whole Naruto game in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That is way better than whatever Career Bros is pushing out when they're trying to do their spin system. Like, do they actually think that people, like, okay, this is appealing to little kids because they always like to feel better than someone. They always have to feel like there has to be a competition whenever they do something. And due to this, it creates this, atmosphere that, oh, if I spend more Robux and I look cooler than him, I'm taking the W. But in reality, it's never like this. It's not supposed to be like this. Like, what? No. It's actually just absurd how much they've used the spin system, and it's kind of ruined them on the worst part. Like, YouTubers are trying to beat around the bush and not talk about it. Because actually, I'm not going to say what Career Bros might be doing because I don't like saying stuff and then it's untrue. So, let me chill with that. But one of the second negatives that I have with this game, like, hello? Why do you have no... It's barely skillful. Like, bro, I could sit here, make a tiny task, and I could create a 1 combo. Like, it's really depressing how sad that I could just upgrade my stats. All in chocolate, like stuff like that. So small, like very small details, but it affects people in the long run. And you'll see it. People don't really, and beyond, at least you actually had to aim your moves. You have to think about what you were aiming for. But no, not right now. At the current moment, it's not like this. It's very wonky, chopped. How they're trying to do this spin system, the skill system, just letting everything auto aim. Like, I could sit back again. Sorry for sounding like a broken record, but turn on a tiny task and have this shit just play over and over again. And I probably kill them because I rolled a good Keki Genkai. Back to rolling. Completely RNG. It's horrible. So, I'll pass the stick over to y'all.
Let's go. So, I'm ready to dissect this game. Let's go. Alright. So, one of my personal, like my least favorite negatives is how boring the game is when you're playing solo. Okay, the only time anyone can bear to play SL2, any logical sane person, is when they're playing with their friends. Trust me, I've never seen anyone who is not playing with their friends that played SL2 and enjoyed it. Where is the fun in punching logs for like 20 minutes straight to level up your new Keke Genkai that you just spun out? That you spun out your old one for? Or, where's the fun in it going into a private server, right? At the time of a spawn and just refreshing it over and over and over until, the private server gets to spawn and then you just walk in and get it free. Where is the fun in that? The only thing in my opinion that makes SL2 even remotely fun is the fact that it has missions like you can do with friends in the open game. But the thing is, these missions have no challenge to them. All of them is shit like beat up NPCs. What is fun about PvPing some NPCs? Okay, alright. Here's the thing that I think they could actually improve here. Maybe they could actually make the missions interesting. They could be like, these missions need to give more levels. You can get 20 levels in about, 5 minutes? 10 minutes, 20 minutes, let's say. So, 20 levels in 10 minutes, right? From punching logs, right? For doing a mission, which is meant to be like the fun thing, the cool mission where you go and beat up the NPC, you don't even get like 10 levels for that. You get 5. Understand, okay, this is really, really hard for them. This is the reason why people who didn't start grinding initially can't really get into the game as well, because unless their friends, and even if their friends are playing, right, they are so behind the curve. And on top of that, the grind is just so absurd to people when their friends have already finished with the grind for the most part, that I think as a game, SL2, it needs to improve on the way that it's been. It needs to add more content, not only for solo players, but even for people playing with their friends, which is the only time the game can be enjoyable. And on top of that, linking back to what Zen said, the PvP, it's so disgustingly low skill that at that point, something needs to be changed. Because, okay, a 6-year-old with max stats, let's say, and Sharingan, and let's say, what else? Sharingan and maybe something else, like a really, really good Keke Genkai. Let's just say Sharingan. Just to round this up, because I can't really think of any other ones off the top of my head. Let's just say they have a Sharingan and some modes, right, and some pretty OP subject too. With this, that's more than enough for any player to win. Now, when you really consider how simple and how easy it is for any player to get these things because of the PSGs, even that, the reward of finding something can be cheesed and can be short-circuited. This is a huge thing. Okay, the career bros, I understand what you're doing here. I understand that you guys wanted to make an open game, and you guys have to, like the NRPG formula, not only does it work, but people want it. People ask you to make these games. But please, remember, there is an older audience as well. And to neglect them is as foolish as you listening to the younger audience. It's as foolish as you listening to the older audience completely and rejecting the younger audience. Look, I understand. There's a lot of kids playing a game that just like to one-shot things. Okay, that's fine. You have to cater to them, right? You have to understand that that's what they want, and at the end of the day, you guys are here for money. And I know that there's a good chance that like somebody who's connected to the career bros is watching this video, or maybe even one of the career bros or someone working on the game themselves is even listening to this video. But I take this as a personal message to you. Yeah. Please cater to the older audience. I understand that kids is where the money is at, but when those kids grow up, the money slows up. It's true. Okay, immediately, as soon as those kids age past the age of 13, 14, they're not going to be enjoying your games the same way they used to when they was 8, 9, 10, It even happened to me. As I aged, I stopped enjoying your games. I was 10, 9 when Nindo released that game. I played it for hours, right? And then now, I can't even play Nindo, let alone any of the actual games now, and even enjoy it for that long. Like, okay, you guys could have done so much better. You guys could have made SL2 so much of a better game. But instead of, actually saying, maybe this time we should actually try and appeal to the older audience. You make the open game literally like it was made for the kids. It was not made for anyone who has even half a functioning brain as a fully grown adult, or even just a teenager, There's no fun in this. And please, like, okay, I'm not even gonna get into the CC because, like, obviously, I think at the moment, as much as I think that the CC is just thinly veiled to, build hype, and that was it, it did actually do good. Because now there's a whole generation of new kids interested in CC. But what I'm disappointed in is what they've done with SL2. The game is hyped up, and people are trapped in the hype at the moment. They don't realize how bad the game really is, There are, okay, like I can look at my friend VC right now. Look, I'm looking at my friend's group chat. There's 10 of these niggas right now playing SL2. 10. My IRL friends. 10 of these niggas are playing SL2 in a separate VC. And consider this, right? I really want to ask, why aren't you trying to actually innovate? Don't you think you would be able to actually like extend past your current audience? And maybe you could find other ways to make profit as well. You could do so much better than what you're doing at the moment. But immediately, for what I'm seeing, I don't enjoy the game. And honestly, I don't think anyone who's above the age of 14 has any excuse to enjoy the game either. It's not enjoyable for anyone who's playing it solo or for anyone who plays for PvP or complex mechanics. Everything in this game is brain dead. It's practically handed to you with enough grinding. Because let's be real, the grinding isn't difficult, it's monotonous. Either way though, I'm done completely roasting the shit out of this game. Zen, I'll hand it back to you, bro.